My wife thought I'd be helpless in court. Then my estranged brother walked in. Posted by you/Nate the Builder. I'm posting this because I genuinely don't know what to do. This just happened yesterday, and I feel like I'm stuck watching my own life from behind glass. My wife, Melissa, told me she wants a divorce. No argument led up to it. No drama. Just her, standing in our living room, the one we renovated together, holding a file folder. "It's over, Nate," she said. "These are my terms." She didn't cry. She didn't flinch. She just dropped the folder on the coffee table and watched me open it like she was handing over a contract. She wants the house, the one I bought with help from my grandfather, 70% of our shared savings, and monthly spousal support for 5 years. Then she said the part that gutted me. "Let's not drag this out. You're a high school woodshop teacher. You can't afford a real lawyer. Mine will eat you alive. Just sign and move on." I couldn't speak. I just sat there, stunned, trying to process how the person I'd loved for a decade had become a stranger with a game plan. The thing is, she's not wrong. I can't afford a $400 an hour attorney. But what she didn't factor in, I have a brother, Leon. He's a corporate divorce attorney. Sharp, brutal, relentless in court. And we haven't spoken in 5 years. We stopped talking after our parents died. Fought over the house we grew up in. I wanted to keep it. He wanted to sell. We both dug in. That was it. Melissa knows that. She was there. She thinks Leon's out of my life for good. Last night, I stared at my phone for 2 hours before I dialed. "Leon, it's Nate." Long pause. "What's going on?" I told him. All of it. Melissa's terms. Her threats. The lawyer. When I repeated what she said, "You can't afford to fight me," his voice changed. "When's your first court date?" "Next Tuesday." "I'll be there. Don't talk to her. Don't sign anything." That's all he said. I'm writing this because I feel like I'm floating. She didn't just want to leave me. She wanted to break me. And now, I don't know what happens next. But I know, I won't be standing there alone. I'll update after the hearing. Update 1. She thought I'd show up alone. I didn't. 1 week later. I wasn't going to post this yet. But I just got home. And I can't stop shaking. From adrenaline. From disbelief. From vindication. This morning was our first court appearance. It was raining. The heavy, miserable kind of rain that makes everything feel darker. Fitting. I walked into that courtroom wearing my one good suit. The same one I wore to my dad's funeral. My heart was pounding. I felt sick. Melissa was already there. Her hair was perfect. She wore this sharp, navy blue power suit. She looked smug, confident. She was joking with her attorney like it was a cocktail hour. She glanced at me, gave me this little pity smile. Then her lawyer walked over. "You can still settle today," he said. "Save yourself a world of pain." I looked him in the eye and said, "I'm waiting for my counsel." He chuckled, turned around, walked off. 10 minutes later, the courtroom doors opened, loud enough that everyone turned. Leon walked in. He didn't just walk. He owned the room. There was something about the way he moved, like every lawyer, every clerk, every soul in that room already knew who he was. He didn't look at Melissa. Didn't even glance her way. He walked straight up to me. "Sorry I'm late, little brother." Then, calm and commanding, he addressed the judge. Leon Hale, representing Mr. Nathan Barnes. Melissa's jaw actually dropped. Her lawyer turned pale. Leon sat beside me, opened his briefcase. "No wasted motion. We're filing a counterpetition," he said, "and a motion to dismiss her demands as predatory. We're also requesting a full audit of shared assets and that the plaintiff cover all legal costs." The judge granted it, just like that. No hesitation. Melissa didn't say a word the rest of the hearing. She just sat there, stiff, like someone had pulled the rug out from under her, and she didn't know whether to scream or stay still. Her whole posture shifted. Walking out of that courtroom, I realized something. I wasn't just defending myself. I was reminding her, and maybe reminding myself, that I'm not the man she thought she could steamroll. Today was the first time in weeks I felt like I could finally breathe. Update 2. The affair came out in Discovery. 2 weeks later. This update isn't easy to write. I'm still processing it. But I said I'd share everything. So here goes. Leon didn't waste time. He filed what he called a scorched earth discovery motion. Melissa was legally required to hand over every financial document from the last 5 years. Every account, every transaction, every hidden corner of her digital life. While she scrambled to comply, Leon got to work. He scheduled depositions. Her boss, her friends, even her cousin. But the breaking point? It came during her best friend's deposition. A woman named Tessa. Leon sat across from her. Calm. Surgical. He asked, "Do you know who Carter Doyle is?" Tessa flinched. That was all we needed. Leon slid a folder across the table. Inside, statements from a hidden credit card Melissa had linked to our joint savings. Charges included hotel stays in New Orleans, jewelry, upscale restaurant bills, all during her supposed work trips. Tessa cracked. She admitted it. Melissa had been having an affair with Carter Doyle, a real estate developer, for over a year, and she used our money to fund her new life. Before she ever told me she wanted out, I sat in Leon's office reading the transcript. I didn't feel rage. Not yet. I felt numb. She wasn't trying to leave me. She was trying to upgrade and take everything with her on the way out. I'm not angry. I'm gutted. But now it makes sense. Her smugness, her urgency, her confidence in crushing me quietly. She wanted the house, the money, and my silence. Now I see her for who she really is. Not the woman I married. Just the stranger I shared a home with. Update 3. Her boyfriend confessed under oath. 3 weeks later. It's been a heavy few weeks. I wish I could say life has returned to something normal, but it hasn't. I've been functioning, going to work, sleeping barely. But my world doesn't feel solid yet. Some mornings I wake up and still forget I'm going through a divorce. Then I remember what Melissa did, and it hits me like a second earthquake. The lies, the betrayal, the strategy. But today gave me something I didn't even realize I needed. Closure. Leon had Carter subpoenaed. Melissa's boyfriend, the man she was building her escape plan around. Carter showed up to the deposition cocky, arms crossed, perfect suit, looking like this whole thing was beneath him. But Leon dismantled him. Calm, focused, surgical. He didn't raise his voice once. He didn't need to. Under oath, Carter admitted the affair, helping Melissa plan the divorce in secret, coaching her on exactly what to demand based on my job, my income, my so-called lack of resources. And then, he said something that I'll never forget. He didn't raise his voice once. He didn't need to. Under oath, Carter admitted the affair, helping Melissa plan the divorce in secret, coaching her on exactly what to demand based on my job, my income, my so-called lack of resources. And then, he said something that I'll never forget. He looked right at Leon, smirked, and said, "Nate's harmless." Melissa needed someone on her level. That line burned. It hit something deep, not because it was true, but because he believed it was. But Leon didn't flinch. He just turned to me and said, he just torched her credibility in one sentence. And he was right. This wasn't just betrayal. It was a coordinated takedown. They planned this together, to bleed me dry, leave me without options, and walk away clean. But they made one fatal mistake. They assumed I was alone. They underestimated my brother. And now, the story they thought they could control is unraveling in a courtroom they no longer own. Update 4. The Courtroom Reckoning. 2 months later. This is it. The final round. The last chapter in a war I never meant to fight, but refused to lose. 2 months of tension, depositions, late-night calls with Leon, and silence from Melissa. No more smug texts. No threats. Just silence. But I knew she was preparing something. She had to be. Melissa doesn't walk into a room without a script. This morning was our final hearing. There was no press. No audience. Just a quiet courtroom and the sound of something about to break. I showed up early. Leon already had our files open, color-coded, tabbed with precision. He was calm, focused. Melissa arrived with her lawyer, but she looked different this time. Not polished, not proud, shaken, like the cracks were finally starting to show. Her lawyer stood up and said, "We'd like to settle, Your Honor." I looked at Leon. He didn't even blink. "We decline." And then it all fell apart. The judge went through every count, every lie, every asset misused, every attempt to manipulate the process. The verdict came down clean and cold. No spousal support. She forfeits any claim to the house. She must repay $58,000 in marital funds used on the affair. She is responsible for all her own legal fees. There was no dramatic gasp, no screaming, no chaos. Just Melissa, sitting there, still, staring straight ahead. Like if she didn't move, the shame wouldn't follow her out the door. She walked out in silence. That power suit? Didn't help her today. And then came the dominoes. Carter dumped her that same day. Blocked her. Her inner circle. The friends who vouched for her, covered for her, laughed behind my back. Gone. Ghosted her. She lost the case. But worse, she lost her audience. Because the thing about lies is, once the truth comes out, even your most loyal fans won't clap for the encore. And me? I didn't cheer. I didn't celebrate. I just sat in the hallway outside the courtroom and breathed. For the first time in months, I felt free. Final update. The house, the brother, and what she couldn't take. 3 months later. It's strange what survives the wreckage. Not the furniture. Not the photos. Not the plans you spent years building around someone else. But sometimes, if you're lucky, something more important makes it through. Last week, Leon called me. Meet me at the house, he said. Not my house. Not the one Melissa tried to take. The house. Our parents' place. The one we fought over 5 years ago. The fight that split us down the middle. I didn't know what to expect when I got there. But when I pulled into that driveway, the gravel still uneven, the porch light still busted. It didn't feel like a battlefield anymore. We didn't talk about the divorce. Or Melissa. Or Carter. We talked about being kids. About mom's apple pie. Dad's terrible jokes. The busted shed we swore we'd fix, but never did. Then Leon looked out toward the backyard and said, I was wrong. It was never about the house. It was about not knowing how to grieve. I nodded. Me too. I just wanted one piece of us to survive. So now, we're fixing it. Together. Weekends with paint. Repairs. Old music on a dusty speaker. It's no longer a place full of echoes. It's becoming something else. A space to breathe. To build. To start over. Melissa tried to leave me with nothing. But in the end, she gave me back something I didn't even know I could reclaim. My brother. And that's worth more than any house.